This training is for realtors who want to learn how to make $20,000 to $30,000 per month, listing short sales without talking to banks. Hi, I'm Ted Lee with Neighborhood Realty Solutions, and I'm excited to show you how to make serious money listing short sales. With our intelligent, fast-track short sale process, you'll never have to speak with banks, worry about how to negotiate requests for promissory notes, or stress over how to handle second lien holders, or how to settle judgments and HOA debt. Simply put, you're about to learn how to work smarter, not harder, while benefiting from the mountain of short sale opportunities. There are about 6.3 million homeowners today with past due mortgages, with an estimated $350 billion in negative equity. And about 500,000 of these underwater homeowners will realize successful short sales in 2012, resulting in about $3 billion in commission fees for listing realtors. Opportunities are everywhere, in every price range, in every county, and with every demographic of homeowner. And unless divorce, job loss, severe disability, death, over-leverage, and high unemployment are eradicated from where you live, short sales will continue to represent a major opportunity for realtors for many, many years. Prior to implementing our intelligent short sale fast-track process, I was an investment banker and venture capitalist for 20 years, where I successfully negotiated and secured $140 million for early-stage companies and arranged and negotiated over $1 billion in credit facilities and term loans. About 3 years ago, I teamed up with an experienced real estate investor and assembled a team of professionals, including the most experienced short sale attorney and national title company. We successfully close in excess of 90% of all short sales that we initiate with realtors trained in our fast-track short sales system. If you want to learn general information about short sales, or you want to review summaries of some of our recent closings, I encourage you to go to our website at www.neighborhoodrealtysolutions.com. The average realtor spends 6 to 9 months to complete only 1 in 3 short sales. Most realtors don't know how to justify, document, and effectively negotiate short sales. They don't know what to do differently when the loan is guaranteed by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. They're unsure about how to handle junior liens, requests for promissory notes, and a whole host of other short sale issues. They struggle as buyers don't want to make offers on short sale listings. The bank's BPO value is too high, resulting in short sales that drag on for months and months, and they end up spending way too much time trying to learn all the short sale policies and rules just so they can sell a house. You see, short sales are really financial negotiations involving lien holders, GSE note guarantors, investors, and mortgage insurance companies with the goal of resetting the prices of houses so they can be sold. And unlike litigation, short sales involve problem solving, written documentation, and substantiated evidence to persuade lien holders with divergent views of value and outcomes to approve the buyer's offer and voluntarily release their security interest in the property and accept discounted payoffs. But here's the realtor's rub. Most realtors did not become realtors to settle homeowner debt, reset and reframe prior underwriting decisions by lenders, or to resolve the myriad of problems associated with negative equity just to sell a property. They like listing houses and making clients happy. They don't like figuring out what to do with unpaid HOA dues, or a judgment lien, or how to convince a bank to drop a $40,000 promissory note request. With our fast-track short sale system, you will work smarter, not harder. You'll make more money by doing less and by focusing your energies and time on getting more short sale listings that we can do together. What you're about to learn is an easy-to-follow, non-flip short sale process where we do the heavy lifting and you reap the benefits of full commissions faster. We follow all short sale rules, requirements, and restrictions imposed by banks, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and any other guarantor of a mortgage. We're always 100% compliant with state and federal laws. What you're about to learn is not some clever way to go under, over, or around rules. It's an intelligent approach to profit from the current and recently anticipated rules and policies imposed by Fannie and Freddie and the too-big-to-fail banks. Over the past 2 or 3 years, the too-big-to-fail banks started including stipulations in their approval letters requiring the buyer to agree not to resell for 30 to as much as 120 days. In 2009 and 2010, the federal government rolled out its short sale scheme called HAFA, comprised of rigid and tedious rules requiring realtors to agree to list properties for a minimum of 120 days at prices established by the banks, where the ultimate buyer would agree not to resell for 90 days. Recently, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac developed new short sale policies. They have the effect of imposing an improper fiduciary duty on the buyer and the buyer's broker to provide the seller owner of records lender with any higher offer contract between the buyer and a subsequent future buyer, or any information that might influence the lender's short sale decision. Our fast-track non-flip short sale process profits from the current and recently anticipated rules and policies imposed by Fannie, Freddie, and the too big to fail banks. We do not violate any rule or requirement imposed by any bank, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, or any other government agency, even if the rule might be improper or illegal on its face. Before I tell you how we use the rules to successfully close more short sales faster, I should also point out that we are 100% successful at closing short sale transactions where we buy and immediately or quickly resell to an independent third party when the transaction is fully disclosed and not restricted or prohibited in the lender's approval letter or in a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac document or affidavit or in any other way. But here's the important point and the focus of this training. As a result of the recent and anticipated rule changes, particularly the new Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac higher offer rule, we estimate that 80 to 90% of all short sale transactions will limit, restrict, or effectively prohibit an immediate resale of the property. So to be clear, we are 100% successful at processing, negotiating, buying, and immediately reselling a transaction referred to as an A to B, B to C, where our intent is fully disclosed to the seller owner of records lender, and the lender does not restrict, limit, or prohibit our right to immediately resell or liquidate the property in any way. So what is our proven fast-track process, and how do we handle 90% of all short sale listings where the loan is serviced, owned, or guaranteed by a too big to fail bank or Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? In short, what do we do if we can't buy and immediately resell? As should be clear by now, we are extremely knowledgeable and highly skilled at processing, negotiating, and closing short sales. But how do we help realtors with 90% of their short sale clients? And how do we help hundreds and hundreds of homeowners to avoid foreclosure or to be relieved of requests for promissory notes if we can't buy and immediately resell short sale properties? We've smartly adapted our legal documents and processes to enable us to close a high volume of short sales where we release our contract right to buy, typically in response to the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac higher offer rule, and in consideration we receive a payment from an independent third-party buyer. The end result, as reflected on the final HUD statement, is a single non-flip A to C short sale transaction where the seller owner of record is selling to the higher offer third-party buyer that we secured, that's now referred to as C. So this is where A sells to C, or we step out of the way to allow the seller owner of record to sell the property to party C. We successfully closed in excess of 90%, actually we've closed them all, but we're going to say in excess of 90% of our A to C short sale transactions to everyone's benefit, with proper disclosure and notice to the seller owner of records lender and the intelligent application of the contract law principles of equitable interest and consideration. So what is equitable interest? Well, equitable interest is a right that has not been fully vested in terms of fee simple ownership, but nevertheless exists as a right to buy, to use, as in a life estate, or a beneficiary right to own real estate at a future date. In the case of a short sale, where the future ownership is contingent on lien holder approvals, equitable interest is granted to the buyer on the date that the purchase and sale agreement is signed between the buyer and the seller. A promise to do something is one form of consideration, such as a promise to pay $200,000 on the day of closing for the right of ownership of a property. But a promise to forego or release a contract right to buy is another form of consideration. And because the equitable interest or contract right to buy and take ownership has value, someone may want that right of ownership for consideration. All right, now let's review our fast track system. We start with a complete short sale package that includes a cash offer from our investment company called Corey Taylor LC. In a separate video training, I review each of the documents that comprise a complete short sale package. In this discussion, I want you to understand that we execute these short sale transactions with full notice, disclosure, and the intelligent application of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and bank affidavits, approval stipulations, and requirements. Because the process starts with a valid cash offer contract, negotiations start immediately. The initial price to start discussions with the loss mitigator or the lender's negotiator is in the range of 65% to 80% of the average of the low comps depending on the property. Typically it's going to be around 65% if we're dealing with very low-end properties that need major rehab. And it's going to be closer to 80% if we're dealing with higher-end properties that are in good condition. Now the final price is equal to the negotiated balances of all liens, mortgages, and closing costs. Now the argument for the short sale, including the buyer's opinion of value of the property, must be justified, validated, and substantiated. As part of that argument, we will collect personal documents from the seller-owner record as required by the lender. Now this is just standard. This is a list of the seller's personal documents that we're going to need to collect to put together a complete short sale package. We're going to have 2 years of tax returns and W-2s, 3 months of checking account statements, 4 pay stubs not older than 30 days. We'll have the most recent mortgage statements from all lenders with loan numbers. We'll have any letters from attorneys or foreclosure notices. The seller will complete a Freddie Mac borrower financial information form, just a 2-page form that we provide. We're also going to complete a property inspection sheet, and the seller will complete a handwritten hardship letter. This is the letter that they're going to sign and date, and they're basically going to tell their story. It might be where they lost a job, or there was a divorce, or maybe there was a major disability. Whatever the issue is, death in the family, whatever the issue is, they're going to write it. It's going to be clear. It's going to be in their handwriting, and it's going to talk about how they're hopeful that the lender will agree to the buyer's offer to complete a short sale to avoid foreclosure. Now, there's other forms of substantiation we're going to include in this complete package. The 3 lowest comps. We're going to have a detailed list of repairs. We're going to have a professional repair estimate. Of course, there's going to be a contract offer. We're going to include a proof of funds letter. We're going to have a listing agreement and a copy of the MLS page. Let's talk about the listing agreement. We provide every realtor with a copy of the non-agency independent contractor brokerage agreement. In Virginia, that agreement is in full compliance with 54.1-2130 of the Virginia Code, but it's also consistent with codes in other states around the U.S. Now, if there is some aspect of a particular code in another state, this form can always be tweaked to address that. This listing agreement replaces the standard listing agreement as included in the complete short sale package provided to the lender. It clearly states that the realtor is acting as an independent contractor and not as an agent, and shall only have the obligations agreed to by the parties in the brokerage agreement. Now, this document also states that the seller or the principal has entered into an agreement known as the authorization to release, where I'm authorized and my company Neighborhood Realty Solutions is authorized to receive the seller's documents and personal financial information, to convey those documents to the lender and negotiate with the lender to secure a short sale approval. Now, what's most important about this non-agency independent contractor brokerage agreement is the list of the realtor's duties. Here, subject to the buyer's consent, the realtor shall either A, keep the listing active to receive offers on behalf of the buyer, or B, the realtor shall change the listing to either pending or contract no kickout and promptly include on the MLS that backup offers are being accepted. Now remember, this is all consistent with the fact that the buyer has equitable interest in the property and the right to list and market it. All offers are submitted to the buyer, Corey Taylor LC, as clearly stated, where the principal does not want to receive backup offers other than full pay offers, and the realtor is relieved of any duty to deliver backup offers to the principal. The realtor is not to provide any backup offers to the principal's lien holders, except as explicitly advised to do so by the principal, buyer, or Neighborhood Realty Solutions. And the only time that would ever happen if we're dealing with that higher offer rule, and we're going to go ahead and deal with that anyway directly with the lender. Now let's talk about the supplemental short sale addendum. This gets appended to the purchase and sale agreement. We actually use the purchase and sale agreement that your broker uses or is approved in your state. But here's a document that goes along with it and is sent to the lender as part of the complete short sale package. As part of this agreement, we're going to provide the seller's lender with notice of the buyer's intent, and we basically point out that there's two possible outcomes here. Either that the buyer is going to buy and hold as a long-term rental and resell via 1031 tax-deferred exchange, or that the buyer is going to buy and quickly liquidate due to factors beyond his control, such as the negotiated purchase price, nature and terms of the written short sale approval, market conditions, property value trends, and so forth. Now, in this document, the seller will grant the buyer and his representatives all necessary rights to list, market, negotiate, and enter into an agreement to contract to sell the property to an independent third party and quickly resell the property after increasing the value by either changing its legal status, meaning clearing title, and or after performing substantial refurbishment to the property. Now, as I pointed out earlier, this particular right that the seller grants to the buyer is already owned by the buyer in terms of the buyer's equitable interest in the property, but we're just pointing out to the lender that this is explicit, that the seller does explicitly grant this right to the buyer. Now we're essentially, in this part of the supplemental short sale addendum, we're repeating back to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac or the lender. If a higher offer is received and the current Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac short sale policy remains unchanged, then the higher offer will be presented to the servicer or investor considering or approving the short sale offer. So we're saying, okay, we're going to comply with your rule. The requirement that a higher offer be presented to the servicer may illegally or improperly interfere with the existing contract and result in economic harm to the buyer. So we're just stating this fact to the lender. Now, should a valid higher offer be presented by an unrelated third party, then Corey Taylor LC does agree to execute a release of contract with the seller owner of record and the new potential buyer, whereby his contract will be released and vacated upon the receipt of a final written approval of the subsequent higher offer by the seller's lender. And the release of contract will require the new potential buyer to compensate Corey Taylor LC in a separate transaction or a termination of contract agreement for his release of his equitable interest or contractual interest in the property, as well as the time and effort and economic loss sustained by Corey Taylor LC. So we're just telling the lender that we're going to live by their rules. We're going to submit this subsequent buyer, but by doing so, Corey Taylor is going to receive consideration from that buyer in a separate transaction. All right, let's review our fast track timeline. We collect documents from the seller owner of record to put together a complete short sale package, and in that document package, the seller is going to sign a non-HOFA form, so we can do this as a negotiated short sale. In other words, we're not stuck on that slow HOFA train and the bank's view of value. This is a negotiated, fast-tracked short sale. We're gonna submit a complete short sale package to the lender. Now, this step alone is very important. We do the quality control. We make sure everything that has to be signed by the seller is signed. Everything that needs to be dated is dated. If we need something, well, in our case, there are certain documents that are notarized, but we want to make sure there's a complete package. We're not going to waste any time where the lender says something's missing. So we only upload a complete package for the lender. Now, because we only upload a complete package, this allows the process to start immediately and actually saves as much as a month or 2 months from some other, attempt, somebody else's attempt to try to complete a short sale. The property starts off as listed in the active status with a plain vanilla description. One, exterior picture is just going to say short sale. There's nothing to attract a buyer, and it's going to be listed that way for a couple of days while the documents are being signed. After we have the purchase and sale agreement and the supplemental short sale addendum signed by the seller and Corey Taylor LC, the MLS status is going to be changed to either pending, if that works with your MLS rules, or contract no kickout with one contingency. That contingency, of course, is that the lien holders have to approve the sale. Now, when I say negotiations start immediately, it's typically not negotiations yet on the price or the offer because the lender doesn't really know what the property is worth yet. But negotiations might start on, let's say, a request for a promissory note or some aspect of the financials of the seller. And I've actually had that happen. I've had lenders day one say, I guess the seller doesn't want a deficiency judgment or doesn't want a promissory note. And I would say, yes, that's right, they don't. Or they might say, we're thinking we might want to ask for a $30,000 promissory note. This might come up in the first conversation. And so I'm actually negotiating that request away in the first few days of the entire short sale process. Other times, certain lenders, or let's say a mortgage insurer, may pop up at the end of the process, and they might try to bring this up, and that can get negotiated away later. But any kind of early negotiations are really about some financial issue, typically with the seller, or understanding the seller's financial status, not so much yet about the price. So what happens is I request an interior BPO with the lender so we can get an understanding of value and to, if you will, validate our offer, the buyer's offer on the property. So in addition to all the information we provide the lender in the complete short sale package at the BPO meeting, we're also going to give that BPO agent a copy of our BPO report. That agent can accept it or not accept it, but it typically gets, moves along to the lender. So we like to do that at that stage. And after that BPO meeting is complete, and that typically takes anywhere from a week or two to complete. Now the lender will react to the initial offer. So right at that point, the lender or the loss mitigator is going to typically verbally counter. Sometimes it's an email, but verbally counter what's been offered, and we're going to have a sense of where this is going with the lender. Now, at this point, when we know we're going to get to a short sale approval, we're going to change the MLS status to active. The realtor is going to add pictures, and they're going to improve the description of the property, and they're going to state in the public comment section either verbally approved, meaning if there's been some counter to me that says they would accept X, so we're going to have either verbally approved, or at some point the status is going to be changed as if we have a written approval where Corey Taylor LC can buy the property subject to a written approval letter at a certain price. We're going to change the comment section to say short sale written approval, that we have written approval on the short sale. And that when that happens, we are also working with the realtor on the price, changing the price of the listing. Now, this is something we'll work with you on, but we know how to do this very well, and because of that, we typically will attract a buyer for a property either within hours, if not days, once we're able to change the status and we're able to know that we're providing this property typically at a discount to its retail value. So it's a very attractive property to people looking for opportunities. Actually attractive regardless of the price of properties within a neighborhood. All right. The realtor is going to send Corey to LC any offers from any independent third party. And Corey Taylor is going to either counter or accept or work out that. But if we find out that there's a higher offer restriction, or we have an approval letter that has a hold stipulation in it, such as a Bank of America 30-day hold that Corey Taylor can not resell for 30 days, or maybe an IndyMac 90-day restriction, then we're going to communicate to the realtor to tell this independent third-party buyer agent that Corey Taylor was prepared to buy it and resell, but due to a restriction, we're going to release our contract and allow this new buyer to get the property for the price that buyer wants the property for. And I'll talk about how that's done just in a minute. So when this all happens, Neighborhood Realty Solutions will then arrange for the lender to issue a new final approval letter showing the new buyer, and we'll submit a final HUD showing the new buyer on the statement. So here, let's take a look at a simple example of how all this works. Corey Taylor has an approval to purchase the property for $200,000. A higher offer restriction exists. A third party makes an offer to Corey Taylor LC to purchase the property for $210,000. Corey Taylor releases his equitable interest in the property for a payment of $10,000, and we arrange for the new buyer to purchase the property for the approved $200,000 price. All right, let's talk about the main realtor benefits from this whole process. Realtors trained by Neighborhood Realty Solutions make more money as they're freed up to focus on attracting sellers and converting appointments into listings. They'll love our easy-to-follow process. Obviously, it's just a few steps. They never have to talk with banks or worry about how to handle lien holder issues or requests for promissory notes. And they collect full commissions working smarter, not harder. Sellers love our process. In fact, I wish you could have seen the last seller. I thought she was going to give me a big kiss because I was able to negotiate a $30,000 promissory note request to zero. And she walked away without owing anything, and I think we had her reduced. She avoided about $140,000 of mortgage debt. They also avoid foreclosure. This is a very, very big deal. With a short sale, the waiting time to buy a new house is 2 years, but with a foreclosure, it's going to take 5, 7, sometimes 10 years before that party can buy a new house. We negotiate away their debt problems, and our fast-track short sale process costs the homeowners nothing. Our legal documents and proven fast-track short sale process enables us to add tremendous value to realtors and homeowners almost anywhere, regardless of the lender or who is guaranteeing the loan. In certain states, such as California, we use a different form or two. Idaho presents some added wrinkles, but in general, we are set up to work with trained realtors anywhere they have clients who need a short sale solution. Okay, let's think in terms of volume. Remember, there are 1.5 million homeowners who will be seeking a short sale solution in 2012. So we have a great number of people to help. So think of how you could focus on getting clients and sending us 5 to 10 short sale clients every month. Just imagine how much you could make with our proven system and 90% plus success rate. Our proven fast-track short sale system works with short sales in all price ranges. So here's 2 examples for you to get excited about. 6 short sales per month with an average approved short sale price of just $200,000 would be expected to generate gross listing commissions of $32,400 per month. And for realtors that work with higher end properties, just 2 $450,000 short sales would be expected to generate listing commissions of $24,300 per month. I hope it's clear by now that with our fast-track short sale system, you list houses, follow a few easy steps, and collect full commissions. You never waste your time driving potential buyers around to look at houses, and you never waste your time talking with banks. Now here's a bonus. Some of you watching this video may want to make some additional money referring your realtor friends. So here's our bonus offer. We will pay any realtor that refers another realtor to simply watch our videos and opt in to work with us. And when your referral realtor's short sale listing is closed by us, we will pay you $250. If your referred realtor closes multiple short sales with us, you get $250 for each one that we close, not just the first one. And this continues without you doing anything as long as your referred friend brings us short sale clients. So one referred friend might make you $250 to $1,000 per month, and 2 referred friends might make you twice that amount. Remember, there is only one referred realtor, even if multiple realtors might have the same realtor friend. And here's the best part. You help friends that you would normally help for free, and we pay you every time we complete a short sale with your friends. You do not have to train your friends. They train themselves by watching our videos. To work with us in our intelligent fast-track short sale system or to refer your friends and be eligible for referral payments, all you have to do is opt into the second training video series. And you opt in by filling in your information in the box to the right. In the second training video series, I talk about the personal documents we collect from the seller owner of record. I show you screenshots and review the following documents that we use, including the short sale questionnaire for the listing realtor or homeowner. Basically, that is the document that starts the process. It really only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. I'm going to show you the authorization to release, the non-HOFA election form. There's an affidavit of understanding. That's the form that the seller signs. Explains all the issues that are involved with a short sale. We're going to talk about the non-agency independent contractor brokerage agreement. We'll go over again the supplemental short sale addendum, and we'll also review our notice of contract. The notice of contract is basically a document that the seller signs and notarizes, and we record in the public courthouse or record in public record our equitable interest or the buyer's equitable interest in the property. That's all we're doing with that. Please know that you don't have to be an expert on all our documents to do a short sale with us. We typically have our staff collect the documents from the seller owner of record, and we answer any questions that the seller may have. But it may prove beneficial if you have an understanding of our documents in case the seller asks you a question or you want to help us collect the documents to speed up the process. At any time while you're reviewing the video information, you can send us a question by emailing us at support@neighborhoodrealtysolutions.com. Hopefully I provided you with a good understanding of what we do and how we can complete many short sales together. When you have a short sale client, you will always begin the process by completing our questionnaire for short sale listing agent homeowner. As I said earlier, a step that should not take more than about 10 minutes. So opt in and let's get started. So you can make money from short sales by truly working smarter, not harder.